It's November 5th, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today and the Treasury Titans. And what do we have here? The Bitcoin therapist says, holy bananas, Bitcoin is pumping up to 102. And of course, just trying to have fun in this brutal market right now. I mean, we literally have been consolidating around $100,000 now for a year. If you think about it, I mean, yes, we had a pump to 125 a couple times, but at the end of the day, we've just been playing around 100,000 per Bitcoin, which, hey, 2 years ago, I think we all would have taken it in a heartbeat. But after this past year that we've had, this is not where we want to be. This is not where we expect it to be. But this is the reality of the game, my friends. And we need to take it for what it is and just stick around, touch some grass, go walk your dog. I had a nice 3-mile walk this morning with my dog, Gus, watched the sunrise over the Caribbean, smelled the breeze. Uh, Life was good. Now, life would be better if Bitcoin was doing what Bitcoin should be doing, if MSTR was doing what MSTR should be doing. But I know that is to come. So let's just keep on sticking in this together. I'm here for you every single day. I'm locked and loaded here in my studio in Puerto Rico. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for you. So if you appreciate me showing up every single day, Saturdays, Sundays, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas morning, if you appreciate that, hit the like button, drop a comment in the section just to let me know that, yes, you're in this with me. This is in the trenches. I was an officer in the U.S. Army. I spent 13 months in Iraq. And guess what? That was not a pleasant 13 months by any stretch. But guess what? We banded together. We got through it day by day. We came out the other side and we survived. And we're going to do the exact same thing here, my friends. Even if Bitcoin drops to 92,000, which some people are calling for, that's just a-okay because we know the long-term thesis of Bitcoin, of strategy. Nothing in this video is financial advice whatsoever. Do your own research and let's keep on rocking, my friends. But again, I do appreciate that like and that comment. If you're in this with me, if you're in this together with us, if you understand that today is another day that we can just enjoy the day and know the future is coming. So if you appreciate me showing up every day, thank you for those likes. Thank you for those comments. And let's move on over to how Strategy Stretch has eclipsed $100. This is during a Bitcoin meltdown. This is during a government shutdown. Stretch is doing what Stretch has always meant to do, which is get to 100 and stay close to 100. So now Strategy has the ability to ATM preferred shares to buy Bitcoin under 100,000. Do you understand how bullish this is? I mean, this is so bullish. This is the entire thesis. This was what Michael Saylor called his iPhone moment. We are witnessing this as MSTR shareholders. We're going to look back and say, man, remember when Saylor started ATMing Stretch? What an absolute game trick that was. What an absolute cheat code that is. And you can kind of scroll down here and you can see that Stretch was trading over 100 for various times throughout the day. And of course, it was pretty obvious that Strategy came in and hit the ATM a few times. So I'm very much so expecting on Monday to see some dollars and cents that have been taken from Stretch and put into Bitcoin for us MSTR shareholders. Let's go with some hopium from Ash Crypto. Once government shutdown ends, and it will end at some point, market will pump back up. In 2019, during the U.S. government shutdown from December 22nd to January 25th, so like over a month, Bitcoin dropped 20%, then rallied 300% over the next few months. Now in 2025, another shutdown has dropped 21%, same pattern forming again. 2019 playbook repeats. Bitcoin should pump after the government opens. This is the shutdown right here. You can see Bitcoin dropped 20%. Here's a shutdown right here. Bitcoin drops so far 21%. What's going to happen if and when it opens? Well, time will tell. Let's keep on moving to Zinx, who says, this looks interesting. Metaplanet have taken a $100 million loan using the previously announced $500 million credit facility. Though they have one of three options. They're going to buy back more shares below 1 NAV. They're going to buy more Bitcoin, or they're going to replenish the CSP strategy. Thoughts? And some really interesting options here for Metaplanet, which is why I bought more Metaplanet yesterday, because I am such a believer in what they're doing. I'm pretty close to at my total allocation for them, so I don't have many more bullets in the chamber, so to speak, for Metaplanet, because of course MSTR's the monster. That's my focus. Metaplanet is going to be a nice little Robin to my MSTR's Batman. But it's really cool to see what they're doing here. I'm a big believer in their team. Hermes says if they can't sell, and they're talking about Metaplanet, if they can't sell stock at a high MNAV, they will borrow, and they should. And then this is just talking about how they will. They just have optionality to do things in these environments. And that's what's really cool about these companies that Michael Saylor and Metaplanet are building, is that they have optionality. All right. Ragnar says, Stretch surpassed $100 for the first time ever today. They'll be able to activate the ATM above 100, which will kick off their iPhone moments. Exciting times, as I mentioned earlier. It's just really cool to see that a lot of people are recognizing the importance of this. Not just like some of us crazy insiders here. And by insiders, I just mean people that are like literally reporting on me and you listening to strategy content, which to me just means that A, you're a genius, B, you're awesome, and C, you're going to be fabulously wealthy. It's just a matter of when. That's my opinion. Ragnar says global liquidity just hit a new all-time high. Focus on what matters and ignore the short-term noise. Zoom out, warriors. So we know what's happening here. We all know what's happening. It's just a matter of time. Hugh says, MSTR sentiment feels similar to the depths of 2022 bear market. Back then, the sheep screamed, Saylor is going to get liquidated. Now they're screaming, Saylor is a con man. It wasn't true then, and it isn't true now. You could pick up shares for less than $15 back then. It turned out to be an incredible opportunity. Yeah, I'd say so. I'd take a couple shares at $15 right now, please. History doesn't repeat, but it often does rhyme. Let's go. And Hermes says, now that we have today's 21% correction out of our system, and by today's, I think he just means like, overall, the 21% drop this happens, all systems are locked, loaded, and ready to go. Fan freaking tastic, he says. Some people realize that this kind of flush needs to happen every now and then. This is Bitcoin after all. This is a volatile asset, and volatility is vitality. Now, Michael Saylor was on the Charles Schwab Network. He had an unbelievable interview. I'm going to give you a great clip from that coming up, so kick back and enjoy. Okay, check this out. Senator Cynthia Lummis recently announced that funding for a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve can start anytime. This is a massive step forward for a strategic crypto stockpile, and no surprise, was soon followed by a new all-time high for Bitcoin. If you're looking to buy more Bitcoin, Bit IRA can help. In fact, Bit IRA will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into Bitcoin. This also allows you to buy Bitcoin using pre-tax funds, and then continue to invest in it over time as you do any other retirement accounts. And if you want, you can even add XRP, Ethereum, or other cryptos. Bit IRA protects your assets with end-to-end insurance, highly secured storage, multi-encryption, and registered with the U.S. government. Your IRA is fully IRS compliant. Best of all, you can trade crypto within your retirement account without incurring taxes on any buys or sells. Just go to bitira.com/JLD and request a free info guide. Once you do that and open up your IRA, you'll get a free ledger. Think about this. In March, President Trump signed an executive order for the Treasury to manage 200,000 Bitcoin as the foundation for a reserve. That's just the foundation. Go to bitira.com/JLD to open a tax-sheltered IRA in Bitcoin. Fire Nation, when you want more for your business, more privacy, more guidance, more success, it all starts with Northwest Registered Agents. These legends have been helping entrepreneurs launch and grow their businesses for nearly 30 years. They're the largest registered agent and LLC service in the U.S. with over 1,500 corporate guides, real people who know your state's laws and actually care about helping you win. With Northwest, you can build your complete business identity, everything from what your customers see to what they don't, operating agreements, meeting minutes, compliance paperwork, and more. You'll get thousands of free resources, lawyer-drafted forms, and step-by-step guides all in one place, and you don't even need to create an account to access them. Best part, privacy is automatic. Northwest never sells your data and handles everything in-house. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and get your complete business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Visit www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent agent at www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free.
Our next guest is an MIT graduate, an Air Force Reserve member, and an inventor with close to 50 patents under his name. All impressive titles, but you probably know him as the pioneer in Bitcoin. I'm very pleased to introduce now Michael Saylor, Executive Chairman of Strategy. Welcome to Market Overtime here on the Schwab Network.
Thank you for hosting me.
First and foremost, congratulations on becoming the first Bitcoin treasury company to be rated by S&P. How does it feel and what does it mean?
Well, I think it's a very legitimizing step. It's auspicious for the industry. This year, we launched 4 digital credit instruments, Strike, Strife, Stride, and Stretch. They were all IPOs. They all publicly trade. Those are backed by Bitcoin. And they've been very successful, but they've been unrated. And so many fixed income investors and insurance companies and large pools of capital, they would like to buy them because they have superior yields. They're really cool instruments, but they can't without a rating. And so part of the maturation of the entire asset class is getting the traditional credit rating agencies to begin to acknowledge digital credit. And this was the first credit rating of a Bitcoin treasury company ever in the industry. And we've been at it for 5 years. So I think it's a big milestone.
It certainly is a significant step. And I just want to sort of talk about what you do, because you mentioned some of your product offerings, and we will dig into that in just a little while. But what is the best way to understand what you do and how?
Well, it all starts with Bitcoin, a digital commodity. Bitcoin is digital gold. It turns out that it's also a global asset. It trades 24/7, 365. You can sell it short with 20x leverage on a Sunday morning, and then you can reverse and go long 40x a few hours later from Singapore, cross trading with someone in Europe. And that makes it very volatile, but very desirable. And for a conventional investor, makes it a little bit scary. The history of Bitcoin for the past 5 years is it's been appreciating about 50 to 55% a year, and it's been about 50 vol, so 3 times as volatile as the S&P index. If what you wanted was 50% ARR and 50 vol, then you would just buy the raw commodity. But it turns out that if you walk down the street and you ask people, would you like to generate 50% returns a year, but you might wake up and lose 25% of your capital in 1 week? Most people don't want that. So they don't like the volatility. What our company does is we buy Bitcoin and then we issue credit instruments against Bitcoin. So for example, some people would like to have 75% of the upside, 5% of the downside, and an 8% dividend while they wait. That's a convertible preferred, and that's what Strike, STRK, is. It's most of the upside of Bitcoin, very little downside. It's like 6-7 times over collateralized, and it's a dividend. Other people, they don't want that. They just want, for example, 10% dividends forever. I don't care about anything more than that, but if you pay me 10% dividends forever, that's interesting. So we just take an asset that's very volatile that we expect Bitcoin to go up 30% a year for the next 20 years. Mm-hmm. We expect it to go up more than 20% forever. So it's not a problem for us to give 10% dividends because that's our business model. But for the investor would like to see that we're 5x or 10x over collateralized, right? So for every $10 billion of Bitcoin we own, we might sell $1 billion of that credit with that $100 million a year dividend stream. And so you're the credit investor, you're just getting that pure yield. And from our point of view, we're paying 10 and we're getting back 20 or 30.
What's the second best? There is no second best.